Hello everybody, this is Paul from Boosted Films, and in this video we're going to show you how to change the cabin air filter on a 10th generation Honda Accord. This is a pretty simple process and we're going to walk through this step by step right now. So first you got to open up the passenger side door and then go to your glove box. You can slide your seat back, give you a little extra room to work with. But if there's anything in your glove box, you're going to have to remove that and empty out your glove box. And then we're going to look to the right side of the glove box. There's this arm. So this arm should just require a little bit of force, basically pushing it down towards the ground or towards the front of the car a little bit, and you should hear it click out of place. Next, you just need to squeeze on either side of this cubby part that actually holds stuff in. So you're just going to squeeze and then tilt down, and then this glove box should be out of the way. And here behind the glove box you can see that there is a cover for our cabin air filter. Now there's a clip on either side, so you just have to release the clip by pushing in right in the middle part there, and then that clip, or that cover rather, should pop off. Note the cover does have airflow direction on it, which is great. And of course now we're going to remove our old cabin air filter. It should basically just slide out. If it gets caught on anything up or down, you can move it around a little bit to wiggle it out of there, but it should just slide right out. And you can note what side looks dirtier. That also gives you a good indication of the airflow. Again, the airflow on this one, it said right on the cover, it's pointing down, but we're going to cover how to double check that in just a second. So here's our new cabin air filter. We're going to remove that from the box and the wrapping paper. Of course, I like to always double check, make sure it looks like about the same size as the one I took out, just to make sure we're not going to have any issues reinstalling this new one. You also got the instruction manual that you can take a look at as well. So we open up our new cabin air filter. Note that on the side it does say airflow direction, so we're going to pay attention to that in just a second. But just as an added tip to this video, if you're doing this on any other car and you weren't sure what the airflow direction was, sometimes there's just an arrow on the cover, and just an arrow doesn't always indicate airflow direction. So if you want to double check airflow direction, we just turn the car on here, turn the fan speed on high, and then in this case, I'm just going to grab that directions instruction manual they gave me. You can grab any sort of piece of paper, hold onto it tightly, but then just put it in where your cabin air filter goes, slide it in a little bit, and you'll be able to feel the airflow direction. You will hear in this case, or feel in this case, that it's pulling the paper down. So that does confirm that the airflow direction in this car is going downward. So of course, we're going to turn off our fan and turn the car back off to reinstall this cabin air filter. And again, note the airflow direction arrow on the side of this cabin air filter. We're going to give this cabin air filter a quick spin, turn it, and so we're not seeing that airflow direction part, and that should give us the right direction to slide this one in. It should slide in rather effortlessly, and then just push it back all the way, just enough so you can tell it's nudged up in there just like you want it to be. And again, the cover should only go on one way. It does have that airflow direction indicator pointing down, which we already knew, but just a good thing to double check when you're putting this cover back on. And you should be able to just pop in this cover each side at a time. So just line up one side, just give it a little force. You should hear it snap in. And same thing on the other side, give it a little force and you should hear it snap in. If you want to double check these, you could just loosen it a little bit and push it on again. Make sure you hear that snap if you'd like to double check. And now in a similar fashion as to how we lower down this glove box, we're going to do the same thing to put it back up in place. We're going to take these two side edges, squeeze them in a little bit, and then lift up. And then those protruding sides should catch and hold it in place. Now, of course, we're not quite done yet. If you tried to close it right now, it'd get caught up on this bar that we got to put back in place. So we're going to slide that all the way down about as far as we can, and then we're going to lift up on it, and you should hear it snap in place. I will say you might need a little more force than you expect on this, but of course, don't go too crazy. Lift it up, you should hear it snap in place, and then go ahead and close the glove box. If for some reason it doesn't seem like it's closing right, you can just open it back up. I would double check that bar and make sure that's snapped in place if you're having any issues. But that should be about it for this job. You should be done. You can open and close your glove box a couple times if you want to make sure it still works like it should. Put everything back in your glove box and you should be all set.